Tonight what we do is we're going to have a bunch of different stories from our Get Real with Rick Dancer live video series that we do over on Facebook. It's a chance for you to get to understand the community from a different perspective. We allow people to tell their stories. We just ask really good questions. So I'm not going to butt in and interrupt you. We also have our sponsors on here that you can find out more about. And when you do participate in our Get Real series, you win stuff. Every show, we're giving things away, from massages to food, you name it. So anyway, we hope you enjoy this. Share it with your friends, and we'll see you over on the other side.
I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. Today we're going on a historical journey. We're standing on the Hayden Railroad Bridge, and Julie is with Workin' Bridges. That's working with an apostrophe.
Oh.
You guys, you go around and buy up old historic bridges like this.
Well, that's one method. Other methods are working with cities or counties that want to do the work themselves. So yeah, any way we can save these bridges, we try.
So tell me about why this bridge is so special.
Okay, so this one was on the chopping block. I got to do a shout out to Lee Trickle, who was the one locally that said Weyerhaeuser is going to demolish this bridge.
They didn't know what Weyerhaeuser didn't know what it had.
They did not, and so I called Tally Patton at Weyerhaeuser then, and we worked on figuring out what it would cost to open it and own it, and they wanted it gone from the river at that point. They got bids for all of that, and it was way too expensive, so they let us put in a purchase agreement on the bridge itself and the property on either side.
So, and what you're doing is working with eWeb, and you want to have a 5-acre total park here that people could use with maybe an amphitheater, but it goes to the community.
Exactly. It's what does the community want at this point? We've tried to clear it out so you can see what you have, which is an extremely historic, soon to probably be on the National Register bridge, the eastern gateway to Springfield and Lane County, and that on both sides there is land that can tie together.
Why is this bridge so special, just this bridge itself, in terms of what it is?
This bridge is cast and wrought iron, pin-connected, Whipple through truss. It is 202 feet long, and it's very decorative. It was created by the Clark and Reeves Company, Phoenixville Bridge Works. They then became the Phoenix Bridge Company. So, or I believe, Phoenixville.
So it was built when?
It was crafted in 1882. Its first stop on its journey was in Corinne, Utah on the Transcontinental Railroad. Then at one point I thought it was just sitting out there, but it really did span the river. And then it was disassembled starting in 1896, and by 1901 it was here bought by Southern Pacific for the purposes of logging.
So this bridge is where trains used to go up Marcola to the log camps up there. Booth Kelly had a log camp in Wendling, Oregon, which used to be a town up there, which is now just a covered bridge and a couple of houses. They'd bring those logs down here into town to the mills, and probably a ton of homes in this area are built with that logs that came over this bridge.
Oh, I think railroad ties. I think they settled the West by turning the Mohawk Valley, got it right, into timber industry as opposed to farming.
Why is it, what do you love about old bridges? What is it for you? You're kind of a fanatic about this stuff.
Well, these are our statues. Ours fell down in Iowa, and it was up to me, the baby of the family at that point, to deal with it. And we did deal with it by pulling it out of the river, and the guys in Michigan at Box Steel restored it, fabricated it. It's now the heart of the newest state park in Delaware. Been doing this almost 10 years. It's really hard to do. This bridge is not so hard to do because it is so strong.
So your dream for this would be what?
My dream is that anyone can get out here to look down this Mackenzie River. That's my dream, is that this provides access to anyone that wants to make an effort to get out here.
So, I know you can't say who, but we had an anonymous donor who helped make this happen. Kind of talk about that.
It's true, you know, it's one of your neighbors somewhere out there.
Up Camp Creek,
someone wanted to make sure that this bridge remained standing.
So they gave over $100,000.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't gone back and done the math.
But a lot of money.
Yeah, and there might even be some more coming.
What does that say to you about this community?
That says that I know he wanted people to match those funds. That says if we could raise $100,000 to match what he did with the bridge, can you imagine the kids park over there, the trail continuing, the local gathering spot on the hill, the ability to get down to the river and to enjoy this place for generations to come.
Well, we aired this on our Get Real show on Facebook and had thousands, and people loved it, and neighbors were excited, and people go, this is a project I can get involved with. So what do they do if people want to help and get involved with this?
At this point, there is a small group of people that is going to start working towards what the vision is. You know, this was established in Springfield, the eastern gateway to the Mohawk Valley. The historical signage that Jay Swafford has collected from the previous guy that was collecting the history, and all of that can go on to signage.
So Julie, thank you for doing this for our town.
Thank you for letting me come to your town.
I live out here and I drive by this at least twice a day, and now I'm starting to stare at it. What people should do, I'll show you some pictures, but you really should stop and look at it because it is ornate and beautiful as far as old structural bridges go. Yep,
and ASF Ironworks is doing this fabricated steel railing that is just so strong, and you know, come on out.
All right, you guys, let's get real with Rick Dancer. So again, Hayden Bridge, the railroad bridge, and behind me there used to be an old covered bridge, an old covered wooden bridge that was right here that took people out the valley the other direction. So history's making a comeback in Springfield, Oregon. Find out how you can get involved. All right, I'm Rick Dancer. Thank you for watching.
What I will tell you, about our food is that we prepare everything from scratch. So we make sure we hire people that have the passion for making food. That's one of the ingredients. The other one, we make sure that our recipes, they use the ingredients that we tell them to use. And before we put it into the market, we make sure we test, try it. What I love about this business is the people. I'm a people person, so I love to interact with people, and I love to make people feel good.
Every month, Abe over at Ranchito Grill gives away 2 free dinners to some lucky winner. Now, all you have to do is go in there, have dinner, put your name and your phone number in the little bucket underneath Rick Dancer TV, and you will be eligible, and you might be a winner for 2 free dinners from Ranchito Grill.
We're that blue-collar neighborhood great place to eat. It's one of those, you hear the old story. If you want to know a great place to eat, stop at the local gas station. The old days, you roll down your window and where do I get a great burger, a great steak? I'm going to go grab some roasts and bring them out, and we're going to cut some steaks. We don't get anything that's been frozen or shrink wrapped. So it comes to us fresh in a big primal and never frozen. And that's really adds to the flavor, and the juices are a lot more prevalent there. We want to make sure that we get the product after 28 days and then bring it into our back door, and we can age it then more if we need to or less, but we get a much fresher product. So that all of our steaks are at least 1 inch thick. Nothing more frustrating than going to a steakhouse and getting a thin steak. I grew up in a community where there was lots of hunting, and my dad just loved to be a butcher, so he would go in and work with the local meat processor there, learn to cut. He just showed me, and just from cutting game. So we grind all of our own burger each day. So I think Centennial Steakhouse is defined by the fresh cut USDA choice. We take it and we have seasoning that we've had that's been in existence for over 50 years. Again, it's from back my hometown, and we put on a really good hot grill and serve to you on a warm plate and a nice cold salad, big portions, and keep it simple, but keep it really good quality, good product.
You guys, we are live in Lorraine. This is Ale Song Brewery. They moved out here. I'm going to show you the building, but they're just down at the base of King Estates. King Estates is just up on the hill up there, and this is Ale Song right here. And this weekend they're having a big event coming up, so we're here to talk to them. Our sponsor is Travel Lane County, and we're going to be talking to Andy in just a second. There he is. Hey, Andy. And he's got a rundown of all the stuff going on, but I want to take you inside here real fast and look at this. Isn't that a cool place? So yeah, you can come out here. This is where they make Ale Song. Used to be in Eugene. And look, there's the three. Okay, so Brandon's the guy you want to know because he serves the beer. These guys just make it. Okay, guys, hold on just a sec. All right, you guys introduce yourselves.
I'm Matt Van Wyk, the brewmaster at Ale Song Brewing and Blending.
Hey, I'm Doug. I'm one of the other founders here.
So you used to be at Oakshire.
I did, yep, for about 7 years.
And then you wanted to start doing something a little different with your beer.
Yeah, just to focus on some of the unique, small, barrel-aged stuff that we were doing there and make it into a whole company out here in wine country.
So why? Why the change?
Well, it's always nice to be your own boss, you know, and now I am. And we have a real passion for making beer that's aged in barrels, and so we wanted to bring that to what we do every day. Rather than a brewery that's just, you know, in an industrial area where you roll up the garage door and serve IPAs. We're really different.
And you guys, how long have you been out here?
So we opened here about almost 2 years ago now. Will be 2 years this summer. And this has been really nice for us. This was the dream from the beginning, was to be making these kinds of beers out here in the country. Obviously you saw the view, it's beautiful. But also being out here in wine country, and you see that our cellar is filled with barrels. We end up looking a little bit more like a winery process-wise anyway. So this feels like a good fit for us, rather than being like in the Whitaker or something where people go from one IPA to the next and then they walk in and they're like, whoa, these beers are very different from what I just had. So
out here you go to King Estates, you come down here, you get wine and beer, and it's all kind of the same feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
You sit out on the patio and you have a beautiful view. The beer tastes great, the wine tastes great, the food, the conversation, it's all great because you're out here in a beautiful area in the Willamette Valley.
Can we go look?
Yeah, come on back to the brewery. Yeah, so this is our cellar, and we have our stainless tanks over here like many breweries do and wineries. Those guys are doing some cleaning, which is what we do at breweries, and there are our stacks of barrels. Those come from various wineries around the area. They're holding beer right now. It's being matured in those barrels, and it'll be there anywhere from 3 months to 3 years. After it ages in that oak, just like wine does, we'll bring it back to the stainless steel over here for packaging. We have a very manual packaging situation where we have to have about 5 people on a conveyor line, and we do it all right here in the cellar. And yeah, that's kind of the basis.
So the real difference between what you do and what another brewery does, this is aging.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we're just like any other brewery. We're making beer. It starts in the stainless steel tanks, but instead of just packaging it right out of there, we give it a year or more in these oak barrels. That little maturation time lets some of the yeasts we're using do its work. It also gives us a chance to take this beer and marry it with a lot of fruits that are harvested here in the valley. We use cherries, raspberries, peaches, nectarines. We use wine grapes from neighboring wineries. We're making a lot of wine beer hybrids, which is kind of a new and interesting thing that you don't find everywhere.
Okay, so what is this?
So this, Matt didn't touch on, but kind of the last step of the process after we take the beer from the barrels up into a stainless tank and package it is we go through another fermentation in the bottle. So this is the way that champagne in France is carbonated. This is the way beer was originally carbonated in Europe. Essentially, these beers will spend another 2 to 3 months going through one final fermentation in the bottle before we label them up and sell them to people. So it's another level of complexity that you get out of this product that's already pretty complex to begin with.
All right, how you doing? You guys, this is Brandon with like the best beard and mustache combination in the planet. So this is the face you're going to see when you come out here.
So yes, the club. So it is our blender circle, and essentially it is like it's kind of like a wine club in the sense that about every 3 months or so, or every quarter, we come out with 3 to 5 new beers at a time, and everything's kind of one of a kind. Yeah, we have a 6 bottle and a 12 bottle kind of club membership level, as well as an out of state where we do ship as well. What's nice about it is we always have a bottle release party that we do. Wine clubs call them pickup parties and things like that. But this is neat where we invite our club members to come down and take part in tasting all of the new beers. We kind of curate and put together food pairings that go along with each new beer, which is quite fun for us and definitely fun for our club members. We also offer discounts in the tasting room, complimentary flights anytime they're in the tasting room. We have live music up here. It's just a whole lot of fun, and certainly one of the most exciting ways to sell our beer.
All right, so Brandon, what are we going to taste here?
Like Belgian lambic-inspired ale that uses 2 varieties of cherries, kind of a sweet and sour variety, so it's going to have this nice kind of sweet and sour kind of quality to it. So we just came out with this last month, so this is going to be it right here.
Get the smokes model.
All right. Oh, okay. Cheers. It's good. That's good stuff. I think my wife would even like that one. She's not a beer drinker, so.
Oh, good afternoon. I'm Rick Dancer, and this is about as real as it gets.
Get Real with Rick Dancer is about stories.
She's also a power lifter, so watch.
Okay.
Ready?
All right. Up. Now put your arm up in the air like you're riding a horse. Woo!
Oh my God.
Real stories.
As I come out of this, people are noticing, oh, you seem to be different or better.
Your stories.
In town.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half to get to the Bohemia Saddle.
It's not a job, it's a lifestyle. And I like that. You're by yourself, you're out in the woods.
It's about events going on in Western Oregon. Asking questions others won't ask.
I'm just going to make the point. So he's a veteran. He served our country, and this is how we serve him. That's disgusting.
So Cody, why are we standing in front of Shopco in Eugene on Chad Drive?
And I'll tell you what, the stuff is awesome.
Exposing your business to viewers in a way that builds reputation, relationships, and respect.
Concept.
So, can you show me, you guys, I want you to see how real this is. So, Johnny is actually got an ankle bracelet. So he is on parole?
I'm on probation presently, and I'm currently on house arrest.
Get Real with Rick Dancer, live on Facebook. Isn't it time for your business to get real?
Cause you know you're a cute little heartbreaker, Renee. Yeah.
Over the last 4 years, Lane County has had more traffic deaths than any other county in Oregon. We cannot let these statistics define us.
I invite you to pledge that you are taking the responsibility of other people's lives in your hands.
Together, we can work towards safer roads.
I pledge not to drive under the influence.
To not drive while distracted.
To not speed.
I invite you to be part of keeping our roads safe.
Together, we can make alternative travel safe. There are a lot of bikers and a lot of walkers in this town.
Pay attention and make our streets safe. All of us in Lane County can make our roads safer.
To be more conscientious of one another.
We can make alternative travel safer for everyone.
I invite you to be part of keeping our roads safe.
Together we can work towards safer roads.
Credibility is huge. I mean, you put the facts together and you tell the story, the complete picture, then that builds your credibility. Trust is key, because if they don't trust what it is that you're doing every single week, then they're not going to subscribe to the paper, they're not going to buy the paper, they're going to look for other sources to find the news that they want. The best way to stay informed is pick up the paper, and if it's not in the paper, let us know that it's not in the paper so we can go find who we need to get that story. It is about them. It's about the community. That's what the paper is. It's the community paper for Cottage Grove.
What you're looking at
is Lake County, Oregon.
So we just want to get the word out. We're really trying to get a tourism buzz going, and we want some weekend visitors.
One of the biggest counties in the state of Oregon.
We just want to give them another experience. We just want to invite them here, have them, do some of our winter recreational sports and see what they think. Just spend a weekend here and enjoy it.
And yet it also is one of the least populated counties. And we are here for the next 5 days. Hi, I'm Rick Dancer.
And I'm Kathy Dancer.
Welcome to Explore Oregon. We are in Lake County and we're at the Warner Canyon ski area. We're going to take you downhill skiing. We're going to take you snowmobiling. Lake County Chambers, our other sponsor for the show. Kick off your boots and stay for a while. Well, today we're leaving our boots on because it's really cold, like 10 degrees out here. So we're gonna go up. Kathy and I have never been snowmobiling, so they're taking us up to a place where we can get into some snow. Yes, you can rent the Lookout in the summertime, and they have a restroom up here.
The people that are really ready to try something else and not stand in line for the ski hill.
No lines, yeah. We like these real ski hills. Good dry powder too, usually.
Here, this ski hill is the second oldest ski area in the state of Oregon. Only Timberline Lodge is older than Warner Canyon. I've been here ever since, operating strictly on volunteer labor, and so we're very proud of what we have here.
Now, we also heard a funny story about the old lodge and how it burned down. Do you want to repeat that one?
Well, the story has it that there was a porcupine that was crossing the highway, and a couple guys got out and lit that porcupine on fire, and he crawled under the lodge and it burned down.
$35 a lift ticket.
Yes.
Where in the world can you get that?
And to get about 20 runs out of it if you want.
So we're going to take you snowshoeing. Again, we were not expected to get a signal from up here, and we are. So we're giving you some live stuff. And this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about revitalization of rural Oregon. So what we're going to do today is go to a school. This is the Paisley School. Years ago, they started a charter school because they didn't have enough students to keep the school alive. So they came up with a super creative, amazing way to put kids in school. And students from all over the world are now coming to Paisley, Oregon.
I'm Maria from Brazil.
From Brazil?
And I'm 16 years old.
How come other school districts aren't doing this?
Oh, we're so special.
You really are. I mean, you're hiding it from us.
Mm-hmm.
Would you call this one of the great experiences of your life?
Yeah. I will never forget what I'm living here and learning here.
And in Paisley, they have the hot springs, the Summer Lake Hot Springs.
And then there were just like these mud pits. The cowboys and early settlers, Indians used to come here all the time.
So I was reading up a little bit on that, and it's one of the most greenest hot soaks, it says. Can you kind of explain about that?
We don't mean the water, okay? We don't mean the water.
Bring your snowboard, bring your snowshoes, bring your snowmobile, your ATV, your hiking boots. We got it all here, so we'd love to have you.
Bring your sense of adventure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kick your boots off and stay a while. You're really missing out if you haven't come here yet. You need to come, enjoy this. Rick and Kathy, we're so happy that you guys came, and we're so lucky to have met you last year and to have you come. You've really been welcomed by our town, and they absolutely love when you come, and we love getting the word out about what we have.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining us. We really do love doing what we do. It's just fun to, I'm an Oregonian, and it's fun to show off my home. So, and I'll tell you what, after you spend a little time in rural Oregon, this really is my home. All right, have a good day. We'll see you guys at 1:30 or so, okay? Tune in. All right, I'm so glad we got you live. All right, bye-bye. And so Noel Nash and his wife purchased the Cresswell Chronicle. You're from Connecticut.
Moved here from Connecticut.
You moved here. You're
My
from
wife and I
where?
are actually from Miami, Florida.
So what brings somebody from Connecticut to Cresswell, Oregon to run a small town paper?
So I spent about 30 years in newspapers all over the country, Rick. I moved from all over Florida to Alabama, Nevada, Utah, ended up at Dallas, Texas at the Dallas Morning News, and then I had an opportunity to go to ESPN, which is based in Bristol, Connecticut. So
now what did you do for ESPN?
I was the vice president of the Stats and Information Group. So any piece of data you saw publicly, a clock, a score, a statistic, on TV, the website, the bottom line, on your phone, was coming from my group.
So what do you want to do with the I mean, a lot of people think newspapers are dying, and big newspapers are having problems, but small papers actually are doing pretty well.
It's a completely different market, right? It's unique in differentiating content. It's content you can't get anywhere else unless you have a local paper. We know the larger papers aren't covering smaller communities anymore. They don't have the resources to do that. And so having a small paper and sort of being the only game in town is still a very good business model. People need information, utilitarian information. They want to read about their neighbors.
And they want somebody going to the city council meeting because they don't have time to, and telling them what's going on in there, because that's super important. As a news guy, that's a super important thing that we are losing.
It is. And we have a terrific reporter, an editor, Aaron Tierney, who sits through hours and hours of council meetings and board meetings to make sure that people are informed about the most important issues in the community.
Now, you guys are going to be putting out a survey because you want to know, there will be some changes, but you want to know what the community wants their paper to look like. So you're going to really listen to these folks.
That's right. I see the publisher as a caretaker. The paper belongs to the community and the people who live here. Publishers will come and go. The paper's going to be here. And so we want the paper to reflect the interests of the people who read it. And we're going to do an online survey as well as a survey in the weekly print paper asking for people's opinions on what kinds of things they want from their paper.
And you guys, here's the thing too. You don't have to live in Cresswell to get the Cresswell Chronicle. I live in Springfield, Oregon. I get the Cresswell Chronicle. I get the Cottage Grove Sentinel. I get the McKenzie River paper as well. So you can keep in contact with these small communities as well. Just through, they mail it to you. It's really simple.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be covering some Springfield stuff here.
We are. We're down in Cottage Grove a little bit, and we're up in Springfield a little bit because people don't live just in their city limits, right?
Right.
They have family and friends throughout the area, and so we want to make sure that they're getting what they need there. And we've recently dedicated a full-time reporter to Springfield.
Really?
To make sure that each week the Chronicle's delivering the most pertinent information.
So will you be covering what kind of things in Springfield? City Council, that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll cover the business and the people of Springfield. So yeah, if there's something really cool going on in the arts community, we're going to be on that. If there's hard news to cover, we're going to do that as well.
That's so awesome because that's my town, and we miss our paper, and we really do miss having that. What's going on, because we often don't get covered in the other paper in the area as well. So
Right.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Okay.
So we're going to go have coffee because he actually I do an ad for him and they put ads out for me. We have this working relationship, so we're going to figure out how that's going to work.